2 Corinthians 3, verse 5. Not that of ourselves we are qualified to take credit for anything as coming from us. Rather, our qualification comes from God. So, what this verse is talking about, I think in other translations it says, it is God who makes us sufficient, because only God is sufficient. That is basically what it's saying. Our sufficiency is from God. We are qualified to share his good news because he's given us the ability to do so. He's given us that qualification. He's given us that sufficiency to be able to do so. And so many people, they think, well, I'm not ready to share the word of Christ. I'm not ready to be used by God. But in a sense, we will never be ready or worthy because we're just humans. And that's not a bad thing. Our sufficiency is of God. Let us practically enjoy this truth. We are poor, leaking vessels, and the only way for us to keep full is to put our pitcher under the perpetual flow of boundless grace. Then, despite its leakage, the cup will always be full to the brim. So, of course, we're humans. It's no wonder why we need completely new bodies to be able to, dwell in heaven with God. Because our bodies are weak. Our bodies are weak. Our human bodies are weak. And, they're prone to pain. They're prone to injury. They're just weak. And so we should take confidence and we should take joy in the fact that we need God. Because we can trust in him. We don't have to depend on ourselves. When you depend on yourself, it's really hard. It's really hard to just simply depend on yourself. We have to recognize that we need God. That is the way that we were created. We were created to need God. We were created to worship him. We were created to need him and to worship him. And so we have to recognize that we need God, and our sufficiency is from God. Our sufficiency is of God. The only way for us to keep full is to put our pitcher under the perpetual flow of boundless grace. Then, despite its leakage, the cup will always be full to the brim. God will always fill our cup. And I think that's something that's said a lot. I think that's an analogy. God will keep filling our cup. God will fill our cup when we depend on him. When we depend on him, when we recognize that we need him, when we run to him, and when we recognize that we are not sufficient without God, he will be sufficient for us. And he is sufficient for us. All of the things of the world, they will never be sufficient for us. They will never satisfy us. They will never quench that hole that we have inside, that desire for more and for more. But with God, even though sometimes we do desire things because of the world, because of our flesh, in my opinion, I feel so much satisfied, so much more satisfied with God, because I know that he is the only one I need. He is sufficient for me. And so that is why I desire not many things anymore, because I know that he's sufficient for me. And while my flesh may drive me to desire things, and while it's not bad to desire things, for example, like love, we have to be careful of the things that we desire. We have to be careful of those things and make sure that they align with God. And as we depend on God, our desires will be transformed into desires that do honor Him. And so, yeah, God bless you, God loves you, and remember, we need God, and there is nothing that we can do to change that. We need the Lord. You are alive because of Him today. I know that I am alive because of God. And so, yeah. And don't refuse to be used by God because you think you're not ready or worthy. In God's eyes, you are perfect. He is sufficient for you. And you are made sufficient by Him, through Him, to do what He desires, to be a part of His will and His plan. God loves you, and God bless you.